Hi, it's Mr. Smith. In this video, I'll go over the syllabus for our course, College Algebra. Alright, so as far as contacting your instructor, we normally get back to you within 24 hours. If for some reason I don't get back to you, please send me an email again, and I will probably be very apologetic because I'm usually pretty good about that. But I do have days when I miss something. Here's my instructor information. Notice my name is Scott Smith. Scott is with 1T, and that's why my nickname is 1T. My email is scottsmith@dallascollege.edu. You can see I also have a phone number here. So if you want to have a conversation, call me at my phone number. If you just want to send me an email message, you can do that through the email. That's the best way to go. This is an online course. Office hours are by appointment. I found that it's just very difficult to find a good time that people can attend, so I do it individually. So please don't hesitate to contact me if you want to get some help, and I can meet with you in Brightspace. It's actually through Teams. If you need to get a hold of the division office, their email is here as well as their phone number. Course information, yes, this is College Algebra, Math 1314, and our number for this section is 2120. That's what separates us from all the other College Algebra courses. And yes, this is an 8-week course. I'm redoing this syllabus because I did not pick up on that. But anyway, this is fast, guys. This moves really quick. Sometimes students take this course because they just want to get it over with. I just want to caution you, it's very challenging to get college algebra done in 16 weeks, so obviously in half that time it's even more challenging. This is a great course for people that need a refresher, or maybe you just took college algebra and you came up a little short for passing the course. That's kind of the ideal situation for this course, or for people that have a really strong background but maybe they're a little rusty. But otherwise, I would suggest that you take a regular 16-week course. But anyway, so I just want to be upfront with you on that. This is very challenging, and I hope to see a lot of people get through it, but it is not easy. All right, so our certification date is Saturday, August 26th. We'll talk about that in a little bit more. Thursday, September 28th is the last day to withdraw. I highly encourage you to talk to me, your student success coach, and any others that might be affected by your withdrawal. Like if you're a veteran, contact the Veterans Affairs Office and so on. Sometimes students will just kind of have a bad day or a bad test and they just give up, they walk away from school. A couple years they come back later and they're on academic probation. So if you have to withdraw, make sure you do it the right way, and it's always a good idea to talk to myself and some of these other people. You don't want to make a rash decision. Let's move on to the course description. If you want a little more detail about the course, you can see that there, and in the student learning outcomes. We have Texas core objectives. You'll see those on all of your syllabi. These are the kinds of things that we want to see students improve in, and when you leave, we hope that you'll walk away with stronger skills in these areas. Sometimes people call these soft skills, or these are some of them anyway. Critical thinking skills, certainly that's an area where we should improve this semester, or this 8-week period. Let's move on to required course materials. Of course, at Dallas College, your course materials, which is normally your book, or in our case it's My Math Lab, it's included as part of the price of the course. And this is the book that we have. It's online. The only thing is you do need a TI-84 graphing calculator, and that is not included in the CluedEd. So hopefully you have one, or you can borrow one from a friend or someone, or if you're going to be taking a lot of other math courses like the calculus sequence, you're going to want to have a nice calculator of your own. But you can also get them pretty nice calculators that are used online. So normally the new calculators are $100 or so. Computer with reliable internet access. You're going to need that because we're doing assignments in My Lab Math. which is basically a textbook-based software where you're going to complete assignments. So you're going to be on the computer a lot and you're going to need internet access. So just make sure that, that you've got that covered. It does tell you how to begin working on assignments in My Lab Math there. It's pretty easy. You just click on the My Math Lab link on the home page and then any My Math Lab link and you'll be on your way. Graded work, notice homework's 10%, quizzes are 10%, tests are 60%, and the final is 20%. So those are that's how your grade is determined. Your final grade, we use the traditional grading scale, so 90 to 100 is an A, and so on. But notice here it says if you keep an average of 80% or better on your homework, I will replace your lowest test score with what you get on the final. So if you happen to have a bad test, I hope you don't, that is basically what you can do to make that bad test go away. All right, let's talk about description of graded work. So for homework, it's nice when you're doing problems in My Math Lab, you get immediate feedback whether your answer is right or wrong. Normally you get 3 chances when you do a problem, and there's all sorts of help buttons. There's videos and things like that. You can email your instructor if you have a question. One thing I do want to say is even though you're working on the computer, I think it's really important to have a notebook and to write things out for your homework assignments, like write the problem and show your work. There's just something about writing things out and seeing it on paper that helps in the learning process. But more importantly, when you're ready to take a quiz or study for your test, it's nice to go back to your homework. Maybe you make some notes of things you don't want to forget, some things that you struggled with or that you need to work on a little bit more. So you study that and then you're ready to go take the quiz or the test. So that's my recommendation. Now the quizzes are really good practice for the test. Usually they're on at least 2 or 3 sections, and they're going to help you to see if you're getting the concepts. Are you able to do problems without clicking on help buttons? Do you understand how to do the problems? So, I always recommend that you take the quizzes without notes. You get to take it 2 times. You get 60 minutes to take the test. But really use those quizzes to help you assess whether or not you really understand the problems. And if you're struggling, then that's an indication you need to get some help. And I do want to point out that we do have tutoring at the 7 campuses, so please take advantage of that if you're close to a college and you need some one-on-one help. You'll also be able to meet with me for office hour time, and or maybe you have a friend, but it's just important that you have a place to get help whenever you need it. All right, let's talk about the tests. So like I said, there's 4 of them. Notice tests will be monitored, we're going to be using the Lockdown browser and Respondus monitor, which is in My Lab Math. It's basically the way we hold you accountable for doing your own work on the test. A laptop or a desktop computer with a webcam is required. Alternatively, students may arrange to take each exam at one of the Dallas College academic testing centers. I will provide a detailed announcement in Brightspace before you take test 1. So it's going to be really important that on that first test that you're able to take the test on your computer. One thing I would just say is don't wait to the last minute, because if you run into any problems, you're going to need some time to sort those out. But again, you do have the option of taking the test at one of the testing centers. So let's see. Final exam, it's comprehensive, 25 questions. Notice it's going to be in our 8th week, and the last day of our course is Thursday, October 12th. Basically, you'll be able to take the final any day, Monday through Thursday that week. All right, let's talk about late work. So just because the speed we go through this course, I do show a little more flexibility here than I do with some of my other courses. But at the same time, just keep in mind, it's just so important that you stay on schedule if at all possible. And if I do give you a little more time to do something, the problem is that may put you behind, and it can be very difficult to get caught up. So again, I can't stress enough how important it is to try to get those assignments done on schedule. Don't procrastinate. Try to hit them hard early in the week. And the more time, well, if you get them done, the sooner you get those assignments done, the more time you're going to have to do the review and then take your test. Okay, so you can get credit for late assignments, even though I don't recommend that you do them late. And it's 25% off. We talked about trying to finish on schedule. I do have some flexibility to adjust the test dates. For example, if the test is due on Thursday and you can't get it done until the weekend, I can adjust that. That being said, each test should be completed no later than Sunday the week that it's assigned. Now, if you're taking it at one of the 7 colleges, you would probably have to take it on that Monday that follows the next day. All right, we're almost done here. Student-instructor communication. All I have to say is make sure you're using your student school email. You can click on this link in the syllabus, and it takes you to where they talk about it. It's basically E and then your student number at, I think it's dcccd or student.dccd.edu or something like that. But anyway, they're all the same, but you want to make sure that you're getting the emails throughout the session, because otherwise you may miss some important information. I'll also be making any emails I sent out. I should say, a lot of times I'll do an announcement in Brightspace or eCampus, and I also follow it up with an email. So you want to make sure that you're getting those announcements. All right. Again, make sure you're communicating with me if you have any problems. I'm here to help. Attendance and participation. Well, you're not going to be meeting me in class, so the way that I'll certify you as attending is by having you complete the Chapter 1 assignments up to Quiz 1 with an average of 70%. Now remember, 80% is what I recommend, because that's when you can replace your lowest test score with what you get on the final. So this has to be done by Friday, August 25th, just because we're an 8-week class, so that's our certification date. For students receiving financial aid, if you're not certified as attending the course, this is likely to affect your financial aid. So keep in mind, though, that this is the minimum requirement. To be on schedule, the Chapter 1 and 2 assignments, as well as 3.1 and the first test, should all be done by September 3rd. You can see that on our calendar. And yes, we are moving fast. I did warn you about that. And if you haven't looked at the institutional policies that talks about things like tutoring, disabilities, repeating classes, and so on, make sure you're familiar with those policies. And I think that's it. Only thing I want to point out is a couple things on the schedule. So notice it's very clear what has to be done week 1. Now I'll send an announcement out telling you what needs to be done on week 1, but you already have it here. And also, if you look at the dates that the assignments are due in MyLab Math, you're going to see that they're the same. So there should never be any confusion there. So even though I'm announcing it at the beginning of each week, you already have it, and it's not likely to change, or if it does, it'll be very minor changes. All right, and I do want you to notice our first test is in week 2. So again, we move fast, and I really hope that you have a successful semester, and I'll do everything I can to help you with that. I'm going to go ahead and stop this here, and if you have any questions, just reach out to me, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. That's all, folks.